A homophone is when two words sound the same but are spelled differently. In music, we call this an enharmonic equivalent. An enharmonic equivalent is a note that sounds the same, but is spelled differently than another note. These notes are equivalent. They are the same note. The concept is a lot more simple than it sounds. We just happen to give it a big fancy title. Let's just look at some examples. This note on a piano is C sharp, 1/2 step higher than C. However, this note is also D flat, 1/2 step lower than D. This note here is G sharp, 1/2 step higher than G. But it's also A flat, 1/2 step lower than A. Every single note has at least one enharmonic equivalent. Most of them have more. And you may be asking me, why did we do this? Written music is all about relationships, how things function and interact with each other. And as a general rule, we don't like to mix sharps and flats. If you call this D flat, then you'll want to call this E flat, this G flat, this A flat, and this B flat. However, if you want to call this C sharp, you'll want to call this D sharp, this F sharp, this G sharp, and this A sharp. We don't really want to use some combination of the two. Of course, they tried this in the 20th century. We don't like to talk about that. We spell things certain ways because of its meaning within the context of the rest of the music. I know you grammar nuts freak out when someone uses the wrong form of your or their. Why is that? That's because they don't mean the same thing within the context. In the same way, we have different spellings for the same pitch because of how it relates to the musical context. So an enharmonic equivalent is really just a musical homophone. It's not really that complicated. We just gave it a complicated title.